Ariel, are you going to mute all of us?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. All right, yeah, I'll mute you guys. Hold on. Mika, everyone's muted. You ready?
Oh, okay. I can't see you guys. Just give me a thumbs up. It's important that the law is implemented, that teachers be allowed to carry guns at unsecured schools. If they will not be banned at all. We have teachers stand in the way of armed gunmen to be shot before they're allowed any of their student life to be taken. The law should have certain requirements. Teachers should be required to pass a background check, psychological examination, get a concealed permit, and take courses at least once a year before allowed to carry a gun. There has been an increase of gun violence in schools that has taken the lives of teachers and students because school districts has failed in providing closed and safe learning environments. There is a timeline of students initiated schools that have rocked our nation each time. Sandy Hook shooting was a massacre, taking the lives of 20 youth and 6 teachers. Lake Worth Middle School student shot and killed his teacher the last day of school. The Columbine High School shooting, 2 teenagers killed 2 students, 1 teacher injured 20 others, then killed themselves. Other alternatives to prevent gun violence in school has failed, and our nation continues to lose innocent lives due to senseless acts. Governments and school districts should carry the effort that has been taken and analyze if they be successful enough. It should cause for a greater focus. Metal detectors might be great for airports, and the cause of it would be with all the extra attention and security that has been implemented since the attack of 9/11, attack on America. Unfortunately, society has failed to apply the same effort of focus on schools, even though the number of attacks in schools for outnumber the amount of success attacks in our nation. Once these students who are more prone to attack school realize teachers have the ability to protect themselves and others, they would probably think twice about posing an attack. Teachers and students would feel like they are in a safe learning environment at all times. They shouldn't be worried that students at any time could start shooting in their classroom, possibly killing others. I think that schools should invest the money to provide armed security at every school in America, or save money by allowing teachers who wish to carry a gun for protection to do so. In response to the Sandy Hook massacre, one reporter said something that makes all the sense. The only thing that can stop a bad gunman with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Let's make sure our good guys are armed and get ready to protect if ever encounter deadly situations related to guns, violence in schools. I have 2 visual aids. One is showing the Columbine High School. You got the firefighters and all the students are coming out. And this is Nathan Brazil, the Lake Worth shooting. The last day of school, he shot his teacher. If you can see the gun in his hand. And I have my phone as my visual aid. It's true to the Sandy Hook school. I'm talking about Charlotte, Israel, Olivia, Anna, Dylan, Y'all heard that? Did y'all hear it? Well, it was true to Sandy Hook High School. They were naming all the students that died and all the parents that lost their kids in the line of fire and the teachers that tried to protect them. And that's why I think that teachers should be allowed to carry concealed weapons as long as they're in a safe place that the other students can't get their hands on. Finish. Finish.
Good job.
Did
Kenny,
it
unmute yourself. Are you unmuted? Jennifer, are you unmuted?
did it sound like I was reading?
No, I thought you did a good job. That's probably your best speech yet.
I was
What you
nervous when
thought,
you first
Kenny?
start and you read a little bit and then you get into it.
What you said?
It sounds like you're nervous at first, like you're reading, and then once you kind of get going, you're more familiar and comfortable, and it doesn't sound like you're reading.
Okay.
All right, Kenny, you ready?
If I have to be.
You want me to go?
If you want to.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
All right, go ahead. I'm going to keep working on mine.
Okay.
All right.
Jennifer, can you mute yourself? Okay. My persuasive speech is on should we have school uniforms? I'm in favor of having school uniforms. Have you ever been teased for something you wore? Have you ever felt singled out because of the clothing choices that you have? These are horrible feelings that we would never wish on anyone. But unfortunately, it has and it is happening in schools. I want to share something with you today that I believe will make schools safer, improve the learning environment, and help students get along better. Nationwide, we're dealing with a humongous problem in schools. It's called bullying. Why, you ask? Students are being singled out and picked on because of looks or interests, often because of the way they dress or what they choose to wear. Many adults can recount various stories from their childhood where they were picked on or felt out of place because of what they wore. Sometimes it's uncool or just different, but either way, they were picked on and teased and whatnot. Sometimes students wear hand-me-downs from older siblings. Other students come from poorer families and are unable to afford expensive name-brand clothing. In 1944, Eleanor Estace wrote The 100 Dresses. It was a book about a Polish girl who was made fun of wearing the same shabby dress to school each day. As you can see, uniforms would probably help this situation because when you're unable to afford the best clothing or something extremely stylish, you get picked on. And this is a quote, in one study, more than 1/3 of middle school students responded yes when asked whether they are bullied because of the clothes they wear. Susan M. Sweaver, Associate Professor of School Psychology at a University of Nebraska in Lincoln, surveyed a total of more than 1,000 students of 5 Midwestern middle schools from 1990 to 2004, with about 56% of the sample female. While the prevalence of fashion bullies was greater in wealthy cities and towns where more designer clothing is available, she found the problem is significant in poorer communities too. And this comes from the Wall Street Journal in 2007. It was from Fashion Bullies Attack. Another quote from the same issue in the Wall Street Journal, teens and adolescents are expected to wear not just any designer brands, but the right ones. The better brands you wear, the more popular you are, said Becky Gilker, a 13-year-old 8th grader from Sherwood Park in Canada, Providence of Alberta. Quote, if you don't wear those things, you get criticized. In many schools, the most expensive designer goods, such as those by Chanel or Louis Vuitton, have the highest social ranking among girls. But popular team brands such as American Eagle, Abercrombie and Fitch, and so on are big logos at the schools. There's also the school safety issue. You know, you have school shootings, bully-related, all types of things, which I feel really stems back to, you know, the clothing choices that one might wear. A visual aid that I can bring into here now is how the statistics show as kids get older, uniforms are quite important. Hopefully this can pull up here. As you can see, when kids are from grade kindergarten to 5th grade, the school uniforms don't make as much of a difference, but as they get older, from grade 6 to 8th, you know, the kids are getting more competitive, and school uniforms do make a difference. Hold on, sorry about that. Imagine walking down the halls of your school and not hearing the taunting voices of your peers, teasing you on your clothing decisions. Imagine seeing students focused on school, not the shirt their peers chose to wear that day. What happens if these changes are not made? The same old bullying, suffocating environment, and same competitiveness will be present. I feel a change needs to be made soon. Adding uniforms to school won't change every problem the world faces, but it could bring some much-needed peace to schools. Getting involved and helping make this change is really important. For my last visual aid, I kind of want to show some clothing options. For a girl's uniform, you can use a polo shirt, have no logo on it so everyone can be the same. You can have a nice pair of khaki shorts. A lot of the schools are implementing now this uniform, and it's not, they don't want brand logos. That way everybody feels the same. The uniform clothing, you can get them anywhere. You can get them at Walmart, you can get them at Target, online at any kids' clothing store. I really don't feel there's an excuse to be made on how expensive polo shirts can be. This polo shirt here can be used for school, or it can be used even just every day, and it costs about, I think, $3 at Walmart. So anyway, hopefully we can make a change. Hello, somebody speak.
What Walmart uniforms $3? Because I'm damn sure going there.
Home Goods, okay? $4. Was that good or horrible?
I don't know. I know I'm going to that $3 store when y'all.
Okay, was that good or was that horrible?
It was good.
No, that's good.
Was that okay? Was it within 3? Was it 3 minutes or a little shorter?
I think you were over.
Much longer.
A minute.
But it's 3 to 5 minutes. Ariel.
But I stayed within the time. Did I look like I was reading, or did I look okay?
When you went back, like when you said oops, it was a bunch of screens came up, so he probably would have thought you had to get back to the page.
Well, I mean, I had a quote, so hopefully he'll realize that that was where the quote was coming from. Anyway, it is what it is. I just want to get it done. Kenny, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm
Jennifer,
fine.
are you still there? I think Jennifer left.
I'm here, sorry.
There you are. Kenny, you want to go next, or Jennifer, you want to go?
It doesn't matter to me. Jennifer, do you want to go, or do you want me to go ahead and go?
You can go.
Okay, I'll start muting everybody.
So I'm going?
Yeah.
Okay. Going right now. Everybody ready? Hi, my name is Kenny Walzak, and today I'd like to talk to you guys about the effects that children who play sports have as opposed to children who don't. A child that grows up with strong fundamentals and values through youth sports is miles ahead in the game of life. I think all of us growing up have had a sports hero that we've idolized. Mine growing up was easy to picture, and it's one of our favorites in South Florida, Dan Marino. But I think why we idolize these people is more important than who these people are. Growing up in sports, it helps us develop physical and mental skills. It helps us get exercise and make friends. Right now, I think around 17% of America's children are obese, and all that takes is 15 minutes a day to get out and actually play and get involved in things that can change this. It's something simple that you can do with your kids that doesn't have to be necessarily football or basketball. It can just be going out and going for a run or a walk. It's just a matter of getting them involved, and a lot of children don't have that. It's our job as parents to develop that in them. It can help them interact more frequently with their friends. It can introduce them more socially, and I think the key thing for them is just getting out and getting exercise. The satisfaction that's involved with sports is something that's very important as well. There's different things that you can do to increase the satisfaction, encouraging your kids and teaching them that the key isn't always necessarily to win, that they learn to need to accept their losses and grow from them. It's something that we all have to do at one point or another in our lives, is learn to accept our losses. There's things in sports that we can learn that aren't necessarily learned any other way, as far as teamwork. I mean, you learn it in school, but the kids that are already in sports at a young age learn at a young age to work as a team and as a group, and they learn to interact differently with the other people within their group. Benefits of children that play sports with those who haven't are very, very significant. I mean, like I said, learning to play as a member of a team, I think, is very important. Learning to play fair, in sports there's always a winner and a loser, but, some people cheat, and I think right now especially you're seeing the effects of that with baseball. The ones that are cheating right now with the steroids and everything are getting caught, and they're getting suspended, and these things are getting worse and worse. It really teaches you that there's a equal playing field, and everybody needs to play fair in that, and otherwise there's going to be consequences. It's the same with life. If you don't play fair, as a child in a game, it's just as simple as having something taken away from you. But when you break the rules as an adult, you don't just get it taken away from you. You can go to jail, and people can lose their lives. So when you learn at a young age in sports, I think that really, really helps you. Children who play sports versus those don't show a significant expectation, or not expectation, but a significant increase in their grades. They have more frequent interaction with their parents because they spend more time, especially the parents that are very involved with coaching and whatnot. They interact more with these kids, and it's really good for the kids to get that involvement with their parents. There's kids that are in these downtown areas that their parents work all the time and they don't have anything but the sports, and it keeps them off the streets and getting into trouble. So I think it helps them show more restraint and avoiding risky behaviors if they can go out and play basketball with their friends or just throw a baseball, something simple like that. There's a lot of different ways that you can get out and do things. There's different levels of commitment that are involved with sports. You have tennis, you have football. You have just getting out and running, like I said. You don't always have to be on a team. There's some things that you can do just as simple as working out, just getting your kids involved, giving them something for them growing up. The action with your kids, showing them that you want them to have the best possible environment, encouraging them to do well, and it's important for them as adults to see that there's things that they learn in sports that they won't learn otherwise. I mean, they will eventually learn some of these things, but they learn to do these as an adult because they already know how to do them in sports because they've done them for years. So I think parents really should just help their kids make wise choices, and doing that encouragement for them. So I hope I'll be in the first and the last pick, but it's not really about that. It's about getting your kids out and making them be healthy and keeping them out from sitting in front of a video game or in front of a TV. You see so many parents nowadays. So I hope you make the smart choice and get your kid involved in something that could possibly change their lives. Like I said, we grew up idolizing these sports heroes, but why do we idolize them? Because they've worked hard and they've done all these things in sports. They're going to help them in their future.
I was only supposed to be 3 minutes.
3 to 5. That's it.
I was saying, that was forever long, and oh my God.
Got plans, Kenny?
What happened?
You getting ready to leave?
Yeah, that's it.
No, I say you getting ready to leave.
No, not right this second. You want to? Who's up? Jennifer?
Yeah.
Is everybody ready? Or
Yep, I'm gonna mute everybody except for Jennifer, okay?
okay. Okay, so how many of you feel like you work long, tiring hours? And do you feel stressed and irritable? Well, according to ABC News, Americans are working much longer hours than we used to. That being said, I think it's time to propose that Americans should decrease the amount of hours we spend at work. It's proven fact that Americans work too much. ABC News reported that Americans work on average 250 more hours more than Italians and 400 more hours than Germans. If you add it up, that is just a little under a month. Can you imagine working 1 month more? Oh, sorry guys, I got really tongue twisted. Okay, how many of you feel as if you were working? Sorry, I really wasn't ready today. Okay. How many of you feel as if you are working long, tiring hours? Do you feel stressed out and irritable? According to ABC News, Americans are working more and more than they used to. That being said, I think it's time to propose that Americans should work less hours. It's a proven fact that Americans work too much. ABC News reported that Americans work, on average, 250 more hours than Italians and about 400 more than Germans. That is a lot of hours. This falls just under working 1 extra month per year. Americans are also taking less vacation time and retiring at a later age. Less vacation time means less time to de-stress. After working all these long hours, don't you think it would be nice to relax? Think about what you would do with more free time. Most people would choose taking the time to rest or to spend with their families. There's multiple sources that talk about spending more time with their children to help them stay on the right path. But how are we supposed to do this when we're spending so much time at work? Significant others, children, and even pets require a certain amount of time. How are we supposed to bond with the important people in our lives if we spend all of our free time working? I am proposing less hours spent at work. This would give us ample time to spend with those we care for. For example, working a 30-hour week as opposed to a 40-hour one gives us 10 extra hours of free time. Can you imagine having 10 extra hours? Just think about all the things you could do with it. While there are many benefits to working fewer hours, a few include less stress and less commuting and more free time. A major benefit to Earth would be less pollution. Working less would actually help do this. People wouldn't be using cars, trains, or buses more, and in return this would create less pollution. Free time to unwind and relax is also a plus. This creates less stress, which actually helps our overall health. I know that most people fret about working less. I know I do. But this is mainly because nobody is used to the idea of actually taking the time to relax. We must accept that it's definitely okay to work less hours and to be able to spend time with our family and friends. In conclusion, it's really up to the individual. Americans work so many hours that we are stressed out and lacking in important relationships. We deserve a little break. It's time to work less and to be able to focus on what really matters. I feel like it was really short, though.
It was a little short. How long was it? I didn't record it. I should have.
I didn't time it. That's okay.
Did you want to do it?
No, I feel like I don't know how to space it out because I didn't have visual aids. I didn't know what to use.
You want to pull? Do you have a printer close by? Do you want to?
No, I don't own a printer. That's why I had to get my husband to print things out for me.
Okay, you don't want to pull up a visual aid because you can copy and paste it into your YouTube.
That's okay.
Alrighty. So we're all good? This is our last Google
You can
Hangout.
post a link.
Yep, I just have to stop. I want to stop broadcasting.